Oh, yeah. Bro. I love it. No better way to start my day. Good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Vu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Hump Day. That's right. It's Hump Day. And man, tomorrow night, we got the New York stinking Giants going against the San Francisco 49ers. Oh. Then we got our Cowboys going against the Cardinals on Sunday. And then Monday night, I believe, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are on Monday Night Football. Wow. This is freaking insane. And it's a doubleheader. So if the Eagles game is ass, we can watch it. No, actually, we would actually watch Philly 500 meltdown. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you're humping, getting over the hump, doing whatever you do on your hump day. I am as excited as can be, and thinking about the Cowboys and the situation, and of course, I know it's only 2 games into the season, but it seems to be very, very difficult for some people to at least say, you know what, right now, the Dallas Cowboys look like the best team in football, that they look good. That's not to say that they will, that you're committed to saying that they will be the best team in football, but just at least looking at what you've seen so far. Because it's so funny that others get the benefit of the doubt. Good old Joy Taylor, who she is just trying to when it comes to the Cowboys, yeah, okay, roll your eyes. We'll see come January. Okay, we talking about right now. You mother humpers can't pick games for next week, much less the end of the season. Can't you look at this and say the Cowboys are actually playing good football? Can't you at least look and say the Eagles right now, they don't seem to have it like they did last year. That's not to say they can't turn it around, but to ultimately just give them a pass. Give them a pass when they've allowed the most touchdown passes, I believe. 7. Now, we're talking about the defense that Philly 500 swore was going to be unstoppable, that they were going to be breaking the sack record. Hassan Reddick is better than Micah Parsons. Dude's got an assist. Yeah, but that's okay, because we don't need outside validation. I just like to go ahead and point it out, because people always come back at me and talk about, well, here's dink and dunk Dak Prescott. Okay, he ain't challenged the ball down the field. See, that's where you guys are small-minded, and freaking fantasy football has screwed your brain. Because you want to see 400 yards, 5 TDs, and everything else, which is great in fantasy football, which is why teams that typically fantasy quarterbacks that do great are on teams that are ass because they're passing the ball all the time, because they're chasing. They're losing games, but you get great fantasy numbers. When you want to talk about winning football, it's called balance. It's called great defense. It's called a good team all the way around. Because what you'll see is you don't necessarily see that one person that's just out there, the outlier doing tons and tons of work. You don't want your quarterback to have to throw 50 touchdown passes. Because if you look at Russell Wilson when they won the Super Bowl, he had 26 passes. When Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, he had 29 and 11 interceptions. Great defense, great supporting cast, lots of plethora of wide receivers, tight ends, running back by committee. It was all a team effort. When it became the Aaron Rodgers show or the Russell Wilson show, where they're out there throwing 40-plus touchdown passes and 5,000 yards, they're not winning Super Bowls. Get it out of your head here, what the difference between winning football and winning in fantasy football. They're 2 totally different things. Now, this is funny to me because I came across this morning. NFL AM or whatever it's, the morning show, It's got Kyle Brandt in there who guaranteed that the Jets were going to win. Listen to this for a second.
Cowboy, after the Niners dealt him to the boys for a fourth rounder on Friday. I want to dig into.
I know this is old news.
Because I expected a trade to happen. I said it all along. But I really was, and I wish I could say, like, oh, of course. I was really surprised. Just as surprised as everyone when the destination was announced that it was going to be Dallas. And there are a lot of takes flying around in the aftermath, right? A lot of people insinuating this was done to put pressure on Dak in the
That's my point.
process as he is forced to working on a new deal of his own. And well, sure, having another talented quarterback around can serve to do that. I don't look at that as the motivation for where Jerry Jones here. Okay, Trey Lance isn't established enough at all to put any tangible pressure on Dak or the quarterback situation in Dallas. I think it was truly Jerry trying to strengthen every aspect of his roster as his franchise is in a prime.
That's actually a great take.
I think more than a lot of people do. I asked RJ and Choa, are you guys feeling the pressure of this window? Is Jerry at this stage of his life, the twilight of his career running the ship? Like, what does that feel like? Dallas cannot afford to waste anything this year.
I agree with that.
They cannot afford a holdback, a setback, an injury, a calf strain, anything. And yes, Cooper Rush did a great job filling in last season when he had to. There's a clear difference in the ceiling though between him and Trey Lance. So I think the Cowboys saw a need to strengthen the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's the truth. That is the truth, because you want to make sure you got somebody who can step in there. And Dak has had some injuries and stuff. And as we've seen, and unfortunately for Nick Chubb looks like he's going to have 2 knee operations on this knee, and it's really messed up. It's the knee that he had hurt before. But as we know, every player is one play away from disaster. And you think about last year, it's funny to me because everybody keeps saying, oh, they brought in Trey Lance to put pressure on him, and things. Dak Prescott, if you think that Trey Lance is going to be pressure or motivation for Dak Prescott, you don't know Dak Prescott. Nobody's going to put more pressure on Dak Prescott to succeed than Dak Prescott. And people, for whatever reason, it just still amazes me. Again, it goes back to this whole thing that people seem to have forgotten that Dak Prescott had a plate in his thumb and came back from a broken thumb last year. He gets no pass on that. Others can throw 3 interceptions. Oh, they're just rusty. Are you kidding me? It's funny how we don't talk about interceptions anymore, because Dak Prescott's not making them. And as bad as these people are, they still won't recognize the fact that Dak Prescott has the highest QBR right now. Now, I do have to commend Colin Cowherd. It literally made me fall out yesterday because he admitted that this new metric that they have about accuracy and off-target passes, that Dak Prescott is the best on not having bad throws, and Deshaun Watson, another one of the many, many people out there that they basically said is better than Dak Prescott. Have you noticed that the kiss of death is saying that this guy is going to be better than Dak? Have you noticed that? I don't know if you have, but that is the Dak Prescott kiss of death. It used to be. Remember how they played Carson Wentz? Oh, Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott, right? Not even in the league. Not even in the league. Remember? Deshaun Watson. Oh, are you kidding me? Deshaun Watson is so far above Dak Prescott. It's not even funny, right? He was the new flavor, right? Deshaun Watson is so far away from being where he was a couple of years ago. It's not even funny. I don't even know if it's attainable anymore. And I'm sure Cleveland is probably looking and thinking, did we screw the pooch on this one? Yeah. Remember when it was Kyler Murray? Oh, my God, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray may not play this year. And now, lately, it's been Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert gets the kiss of death. And not only that, he gets Kellen Moore. And it's funny because everybody always wants to give credit to everybody else out there but Dak Prescott. Everybody else. Okay? Oh, Dak Prescott was only successful because he had Amari Cooper. Oh, Amari Cooper made Dak Prescott. Was Amari Cooper making the passes too? Now, we moved on from Amari Cooper. We were still 12-5 last year, right? Right? And right now, here's what's amazing. That garbage-ass quarterback that we have, for somehow, some way, right now, that garbage-ass quarterback, who everybody's saying is a dink and dunker. Here's something amazing with the connection that he has with Ceedee Lamb. And I guess Ceedee Lamb is throwing the passes to him as well. This is according to Reed Hansen on Twitter. Ceedee Lamb is operating at a record pace for the Cowboys. His 55.3% receiving share is the highest since 1945. His 1,870-yard pace would be fifth all-time, and his 88.2% catch rate is almost unfathomable, given the difficulty of some of his catches. Now, here's what's interesting. So if you put together what Colin Cowherd actually put out there, that bad throws, Dak Prescott's got the least of them right now in the NFL. When you look at QBR, quarterback rating, that means the quarterback's delivering the ball. Now, as Roger Staubach, the great Hall of Fame Roger Staubach, put it, it doesn't matter what I do with the football if I don't have a great receiver to catch it like Drew Pearson. And that is a fact. The quarterback can do his job and put the ball where it's going, but if the receiver doesn't bring it in, it doesn't matter. It has to be there together. And herein lies the thing that people don't see. They'll say, well, Amari Cooper made Dak Prescott. No, they made together each other. And it's funny because the Cowboys are succeeding with Ceedee Lamb, whereas Cleveland is not succeeding as well with Amari Cooper. The funny thing is, we always give credit to everybody that's always there. We gave it to Jason Garrett. We gave it to Kellen Moore for Dak Prescott. We gave it to Amari Cooper or, some of Dez Bryant things. The funny thing is Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are still succeeding. Not the big game, and not the big game, but in comparison to where we are. And as far as we're looking at being paid, I got to be honest with you right now, Dak Prescott is betting on himself, and it's looked like he's going to win, provided he stays upright and keeps playing like this and has this defense, because this is the team concept. So that's where we are today. What's cool is, and I can't wait to actually get to this, because Micah Parsons is everywhere. Micah Parsons was on Pat McAfee yesterday, and I'm going to do something with that a little bit later. I'm going to get this out, and then I'm going to do some work and then take care of doing that as well. But Micah Parsons was saying that the Cowboys have played him a few snaps at tight end. Would you like to try and tackle Micah Parsons? And since he is everywhere, I still don't understand why somebody has not brought back the Bo Knows ads. Some of you may not remember Bo Jackson, but they had a series of Bo Jackson of Bo Knows. Bo did everything: baseball, football, race cars. It was Bo Knows. Bo would do it. Bo would come over and fix, your house and everything else, change the hot water heater because Bo knows. That's Micah Parsons, and he is everywhere. So let's check out what they have to say today on Alrighty. Is Micah Parsons the best player in the NFL? Could he actually be league MVP? Let's go to the tape.
And this is what Micah had to say about this Cowboys team compared to his previous teams in Dallas.
So it's completely different. I feel like there's a complete 360 turnaround. I think this year, man, coming in the camp, we was like, man, we know we're capable of. We all know how each other play. We all know how each other like. It's looking dangerous right now. I can't even lie to you.
Okay, first of all, I need Micah to get a compass and understand what 360 is. Because then they'd be staring right back at where they were.
I don't need my pass rushes to know nothing about the breathe. Where
is the quarterback. Yes.
Get the quarterback.
Marcus, let's start with you, my beloved former Cowboy. This is special. I mean, if I were to say right now, look, Mahomes, the best player in football is Micah Parsons. Is that right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is. The impact he's making on the game, GN. One trait you have to be in that conversation, and we used to talk about Aaron Donald in this way, and we probably will at the end of the year. It has the impact the rest of the team. And the fact that Micah Parsons is out there on the field, everybody's job becomes easier. That's one of the traits of being the best player. The other trait is Micah Parsons wins 57% of his pass rushes. The league is at 17. Right. Think about that for a second. Now, I'm one to believe that TJ Watt is one of the best pure pass rushers. Like lying down, put your hand in the dirt. He's going to get to the quarterback from that position more than anybody. But the numbers don't say that. It says that every time Micah Parsons lies down with his hand in the dirt, he's going to get there more than anybody in the league. Dan Quinn uses him in a phenomenal way. He creates mismatches. And
the mad scientist.
The other thing is this, too. He plays harder than everybody.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second, Motor. The freakish athletic ability coupled with a coach that's going to put you in great positions and situations to impact games, and you go harder than everybody else. Now, I know it's
than
not
anybody
that simple.
else.
People don't think about it in that regard, but
I'm trying not to get caught.
Lawrence Taylor play. He looked like he was moving faster than everybody else on the field. That's right. These two dudes are very similar, and he does.
Don't want to get it shut down.
Have a chance to be the league MVP.
A reminder that he was an off-the-ball linebacker in college, and the Cowboys traded back in the draft to get him. They moved back and got him. You're an offensive lineman. What are we doing with Micah Parsons?
Not sleeping for a week. But you can't do anything with him because you try to game plan him at a specific position. He's not going to be there. That's the difference between he and every other pass rusher. You can't put a tight end on because he may kick in and he'll be over your guard or over your center, or over your right. So you don't ever know where he's going to line up. So you can't game plan for him. You ultimately have to go one-on-one with him. 5 of your offensive linemen at some point are going to face him, and you got a weak link. Everybody in the NFL's got a weak link on the offensive line, and it's that I want to sign up for that block. Listen, I want to sign up for that block, right? Everybody, slide down, get down, double me. You can't double everybody, and so that's the problem with him. He creates such havoc because there is no game plan, because Dan Quinn is using him that way, where he can walk around, do it how he wants to do it, and it's an absolute nightmare.
And you can double team, and he can beat that too. Well, no, I saw him in week 1, he destroyed the double team and led to a sack for someone else. So there really is no answer. The 57%, some of those wins are against 2 guys.
Yeah. Ooh. So here's what I want to say, bro. When it comes to Micah Parsons being a brilliant player on the defensive side of the ball, that's not a surprise. Here's what's surprising, Kmart, about the Cowboys. The much maligned Mike McCarthy is running an offensive show that is so extraordinarily well organized and well put together that even someone like me, I never played it, I never coached it, and I'm watching it, and they're getting that play in so fast, and they're getting out of the huddle so fast. Mike McCarthy is putting it back in everyone's face, right, at least to this point, who questioned him taking over the play calling.
Yeah, but here's the thing, we didn't know what it would look like.
That's what I mean.
The offense, they were putting up points, scoring at will at one point, and you thought, okay, with Kellen Moore and Dak, this makes sense. And all of a sudden, Mike McCarthy says, you know what? We don't want to do all that. I'm going to take over. When we looked at Mike McCarthy throughout the last 2 seasons and said, you know, clock management is an issue. Guys don't seem to know what they're supposed to be doing in end-of-game situations. Does Mike McCarthy now want to take on an even bigger responsibility and add more to his plate? And guess what? He said yes, and so far, the Cowboys look good. Defense, we know is going to be good. We knew Mike would be outstanding, as Dominique always says. But it was going to be this offense, and how would Dak look, and how would these pieces come together? Would they put up points? Would they just...
I'm going to pause there for a second here. Because here's one of the things that people don't seem to understand, okay? Every second counts in the NFL. The difference between winning and losing is literally this much. What Mike McCarthy has done, in some regards, has simplified the offense, and he gets the plays out quicker, okay? And see, here's the thing with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore had all the combination routes and everything else, things that were longer developing, okay? If you notice, Dak Prescott's not getting hit a lot. Mike McCarthy is getting the plays out where they still have 15, 20 seconds to get to the line of scrimmage and call the plays. They're not rushed. They're not going to get the delay of games, but they have more time to survey the field and feel what they're doing. And it's not where we're doing multiple reads. We're going right now, boom, boom, and it's hitting. And this is speeding up the game and making it more difficult for the defenses because they're not coming out here with 5 seconds. Okay, I got to make a quick read and we got to snap the ball. They're not hurried. They're not rushed. They're able to go out there and execute much, much better. And this is one of the differences with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore still wet behind the ears. Takes a little longer to get the plays out there. They got less time to make the calls and things like that. And I still believe that Mike McCarthy, being an older person like myself, you're a little more conservative. You understand, you know what? I don't have to get it all right now. Take what they're giving us and be satisfied, as opposed to when you're young, you want everything right now. That's the difference. But go on.
Run the ball, and would Dak be too afraid to make mistakes? It hasn't looked like that to this point, and that's what you love because that's the main question with this team.
Jeff, you left me solo and went to coach when I was playing. It was such a negative connotation around Mike McCarthy taking over play calling. And when he came out and said, we're going to run the ball, you should have saw people. They lost their mind. You can't win in the league running the damn football and doing all of that. But not just you fighting, but I think the idea of what Kellen Moore was doing blinded people so much to situational football. And that's what Mike McCarthy was talking about. When we need to run it and when we have to run it, we will. But you got to drop back. It was 38 passes and 35 runs in this game against the New York Jets. And for as much as the Jets struggle offensively, I'm sorry, G, that defense still had to be respected, no matter how good your defense was playing. And what Mike McCarthy has done is situational football and understand that, all right, this is the time for me to hand it off. My offensive line is intact. We can be physical. I'm going to give you an example. Because this is what I was talking about with Kellen Moore.
I haven't seen this.
When they the number one scoring offense in the league. And they doing all of this. Kellen Moore last week with the Los Angeles Chargers in overtime threw 3 deep balls. 3 of them in a row. Got 0 yards, 3 plays and a punt. Now, look, what people gonna say is Justin Herbert go out there and make a play. It ain't no
Steak face.
The Titans barely can beat the Saints. The Chargers are supposed to be the dog. Look at this ball. Right? The Tennessee
I didn't even pay
Titans
attention.
right back to the next possession. Get the ball, run, pass, pass, field goal range, win the game. That was Kellen Moore's problem in Dallas. It had nothing to do with his inability to call plays. The dude can call plays. He is a bad situational offensive coach. And that's what drove me crazy last year with the Cowboys. And a lot of times your quarterback gonna get the brunt. It's about to happen to Justin Herbert. Trust me, give it time. If Justin Herbert is going to be ass, I'm going to drop back every time we get in a critical situation.
You make the point you made yesterday, though, of who this reminds you of. The guy that you played with for a dozen years.
And I actually played for Mike McCarthy, right? And I will say this, the one position change when you take over that offensive coordinator from a head coach is you now have control. People think like the head coach is making every decision. But that's not the case, right? Like as the offensive coordinator is calling those plays.
We're going to leave it right. We're going to leave it right there because we're getting a little long-winded here. But yeah, I didn't even realize that he had. I saw the Titans won the game, but I didn't realize that Kellen Moore called 3 deep passes. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. So, with that being said, we got more work to do over here at Red Brick House. And as always, I appreciate y'all.